Well, we started this meeting, it's the 20th of February today, with some reports from Di and Alan, who've been to visit the site. And so we have now photos of the kiln house and its kiln, which is a grade 2 listed building. I don't know whether that is part of the SSSI or not, but it's worth knowing.
It's
if
not.
it is.
No, it isn't.
It's actually a point of interest, though, that's there, and I'm thinking of writing something up about that kiln because it's so interesting. I guess, Di, you're writing something up about it for the
GA guide.
GA guide.
What I need to try and find out whether they, because it's grade 2 listed, whether they have open days, like for example on the London Open House Day and that sort of thing.
Okay.
I'll try and investigate that.
On the subject of bagshot sand, can I just check? Harrow on the Hill is at a slightly higher elevation than Hampstead Heath, but it's thought that you might have bagshot sands at both of those. And we were wondering.
My question last time is, why is there no bagshot sand?
Why is there no bagshot sand on the Stanmore Gravel? On the Harrow Wheel?
Stanmore Gravel.
Okay.
And
then we had quite an interesting discussion about sea level change, and I can't begin to summarize that, but I think what we might do is I really do want to write that up in words that will make sense to me, and so therefore other people might also understand it. But so it's such a complicated series of different things happening at the same time, with tectonic movements, with erosional, with the sediments going into to change the shape of the land, with when there was ice and when there was higher and lower sea level. Okay, so I will try and put together a couple of paragraphs that make sense and send it around, and everybody please correct whatever I've written. I'll try and get that out. So I think that's really interesting, and I do think it's the crux of the matter. The elevation question seems to be the one that everything depends on. Then oh yes, I'm going to contact the BGS to just check with them about what they've written about the Stanmore Gravels and say that we're looking at there being maybe a discrepancy in what they've reported and what we've seen. Would that be fair to say?
I'll give you the name of the author if he's still there.
Okay, thanks, Alan. Then Phil very kindly came up with some possibilities of some public engagement funding and other funding. So that's another job for me to work out what we might be able to do. But thank you very much, Phil, for suggesting that. The main, and Ross, by the way, we didn't mention, but Ross did put something into the chat, which I've copied here into my notes. So we had a discussion on the Lower Greensand chert, and that's obviously something we're going to follow up in terms of the way we analyze the pebbles and analyze our sample once we've got it. All kinds of other things. Then Mike asked about cosmogenic nuclide burial testing and whether that would be worth doing. Obviously, we'll follow up on everything, all these suggestions, and see whether it is. But I suggested that we might try to find someone to explain the pros and cons and what we can hope to get from that and what it involves. So I'll look into that. If anybody knows, if anybody has that expertise and would like to tell us next time, please volunteer. I'll put it in an email and you can reply. Otherwise, let me know somebody if you do know somebody.
Whoever did it for Hearts, I would thought.
That's a good, yes, good idea.
Geological Society.
Thank you. I'll have a look at that. And I think the main thing coming out of this meeting is that we should all get together, as many of us as can, to go to the site and have a look at it together. And so I've asked Barbara to give some dates when she and Eleanor could both come, and then we'll see who can fit those dates. Is that okay, Barbara? Yeah. Is that's all I've got in my notes. Have I forgotten anything important? So it's already 5:15 nearly. So I'll just say
I just
thank
want to
you
say
for
something.
coming again.
Sorry,
Yes,
one
Mike?
other thing.
Yeah.
The business about uplift and the fact that Peter said he was going to send round
Yes.
an article. Could we have that minuted? Because I think
Yes,
that's really interesting. Well, interests
yes,
me anyway.
Thank you.
Rob,
I rather rushed over the uplift thing because I've got a lot written down that is a bit chaotic in terms of what I've written. But thank you, Mike, for reminding me. So there were a couple of papers mentioned, which we can circulate to the whole group. And Phil also mentioned the research at
I've got one
Imperial
on
College.
uplift, which I didn't mention as well. So
Well, let's put them all
there'll
together.
be 3 papers. So one by Daryl Maddy, David Bridgeland, and forget the third author, but Green, Chris Green, I think his name is, from Royal Holloway.
And
Okay.
the other thing I think about, you can decide whether this is worth including or not, Liz, but the in sense we have been talking about Little Heath, and it's interesting for a number of reasons, because it could be linked geologically. It's an example of examining a site and all the kind of sedimentology and whatever that goes on. They've had diggers up there and so forth, and they've had this form of testing. Just could you remind everyone that in the February geology from your sofa, there's a link to a talk by Clive Mayton about that. I think it's about 30 minutes. It's very clear. It's very nicely presented. And he takes us through the issues in a way that I found completely understandable.
Brilliant. Great call, Mike.
Mm.
I shall do that, and I shall go and watch it again because I first watched it some time ago, and it was very good. Yeah. Thank you. We'll put that suggestion out as well.
Good.
Okay, I think we covered much more ground than I was expecting to today. Thank you, everybody, for coming along. I'll try and find a good date in March when we can have another Zoom. But hopefully we might be in touch to go and actually look at the SSSI before then.
can I make a point that if we got money till July, we're going to have to move fairly fast.
Yes.
Get out there.
Yeah, let's do that. Well, hopefully Barbara will get back to me with some dates quickly. I think it's important that Barbara comes, don't you? If we could get
particularly Eleanor.
Eleanor.
Yeah, Eleanor Brown.
Okay. Right. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Look forward to seeing you again soon. And thanks for turning up today. And good luck with. Hope you're all feeling well, Mike. I hope you're feeling better too.
Thank you.
Okay. I'm going to say goodbye then. Cheerio.
Okay.
Bye, everyone.
Sorry, Mike, not to type that thing out, but I'll try and do it.
Oh, okay. So anytime, that'd be great. Thank you, Diane. Thank you.
Last week got away with me.